Hey everyone, Lindsay here, owner and founder of Elevate 365 and your personal life and leadership coach. Today, we are talking about why smart, successful women stay stuck. And to open, I want to ask you something, and I want you to really sit with this for a second. Have you ever looked at your life, your career, your accomplishments, the life you built, and thought, this is good? This is really good. And then, almost in the same breath, felt something else, felt something quieter, something that whispered, but is this it? Is this all there is? If you've ever felt that, you are not alone. You are not ungrateful. You're not ungrateful for the life you built, and you are definitely not failing. You may simply be standing in what I call the decision gap. And here's what I see with the women I work with every day. They are smart. They are accomplished. They have worked hard to get to where they are. And on paper, their lives look like exactly what they are supposed to want: a great career, maybe a family, real accomplishments, real responsibilities, real proof that they've done the work, right? And then somewhere, maybe gradually, maybe suddenly, something shifts for them. It's not a crisis, not a failure, not a breakdown, just a feeling, a knowing that the version of the life that they're living no longer quite fits the person that they've become. And that is deeply disorienting because we don't have a lot of cultural language for what it feels like to outgrow a life that is, by most measures, a good one. We know how to talk about hitting rock bottom, but we don't talk nearly enough about hitting a ceiling. When you've done everything right and you still feel the pull towards something more, something different, something that is true for you, right? You can be successful and you can still be misaligned. And that's not a character flaw, that's simply growth. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. When a high achieving woman feels stuck, the world rushes to solutions, right? Get a new planner, optimize your schedule, take another course, get another certification, read another book, find a new productivity system, right? Adding that new certification to your wall will not fix it. And look, the women that I work with, they don't lack for strategy. These are brilliant, accomplished women. They know how to achieve. That is not the problem. The problem is something deeper. The decision gap isn't a gap in your knowledge, it's a gap in your identity. It's the space, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes terrifying, between who you have been, what you've created in your life up until this point, and who you are becoming. And in that space, all the strategy in the world is not going to move you through, because the thing holding you in place, it's not a lack of information. It's not a lack of data. It's a crisis of trust, of self-trust, trust in yourself, trust that what you want, what you're being called towards is real. Trust that you are allowed to want it. And the women I coach are not stuck because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because some part of them is still asking, am I allowed to do this? So the biggest obstacle, it's not a skills problem. It's not a strategy problem. It's an identity problem, an identity shift, right? And clarity, how do you get clarity in that moment? It comes from movement. It comes from not from more thinking, not from more strategizing, but from movement. So, what do you do when you're standing in that decision gap, right? We wait. Most of us will wait. We will wait for the clarity. We will wait for the certainty. We will wait until we feel like we can see the whole path laid out before us before we're willing to take the first step. We tell ourselves, when I'm sure, then I'll move. When I have a plan, then I'll move. I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to wait until the right time. When this fear goes away, then I know what's right. Well, here's what I've learned, both in my own life and in working with women that I coach. Clarity is almost never what comes first, okay? Clarity isn't what we think. We don't just wake up one day and know all the answers. We don't just wake up one day and have the path, laid out before us. Clarity actually comes from saying the thing out loud to somebody else. It comes from permission. And you don't need permission to give yourself permission. But when all of that is happening in your head, then you're not making a decision. You're not making a choice. You're not having that movement forward. So what really needs to happen is you need to give yourself permission to say the thing out loud, because clarity comes from movement. It comes from taking a grounded step, paying attention to what you learn, and then slowly, steadily rebuilding your trust in your own knowing. And you don't need to see the whole path. You just need the courage to take the next step. And I want to say something clearly to anyone who's sitting in this room who is afraid that moving forward means losing what you built. You're not starting over. You're not starting from scratch. This is how you start aligned. Everything you've built, everything you've learned, everything you've earned, everything you become, it comes with you. You're just finally building in the direction of who you are actually becoming. We're going to let those things fall away that no longer serve you, and we are going to build in the direction of the person you're becoming. So if you've been feeling restless or stuck, or like something in your life needs to change, but you haven't been able to quite name what it is, this is what I want you to hear today. There is nothing wrong with you. You may simply be standing in the decision gap, the space between everything you've built and who you are becoming. And the life that you're allowed to want, it might be waiting for you on the other side. So if this has hit a chord with you today, if this resonates, check out the comments below. There's more information about how we could work together one-on-one, or a little bit more of a description about the work I do and what the decision gap is. And we will see you in the next video.